I'm going to read Marilyn Manson's natal chart. And this video is too long for TikTok, Instagram. So it's posted on YouTube. You can watch the whole video on YouTube, and the link to the full video is in the caption. Here we have Marilyn Manson's natal chart. Why am I doing this? Because I saw him in concert a couple of weeks ago. Took me totally out of my comfort zone, and I admit I was a little fearful going in there because, like a lot of people, I was taught to fear this man back in the day, and I did believe that he was a Satanist back in the day. Well, now I know that's not the case because I looked into his history, and his natal chart is just a tell-all. And this is not only going to help you understand somebody who is terribly misunderstood, but it's also going to help you understand some placements in your natal chart better, or people who you know personally, okay? This is very interesting. Marilyn Manson is a Capricorn. I'm a Capricorn. I couldn't believe it. So immediately when I learned that, my opinion of him changed. His sun here is in Capricorn. He's Leo rising. His moon is in Leo. Okay. The sun, therefore, since the sun rules Leo, it rules Marilyn Manson's chart. Well, Leos are supposed to shine, and they're very creative people. Also, if Leos, when they're young, if they don't get the attention they need when they're kids, you better look out. They are going to lash out in some way. They're going to be very difficult to deal with in some way. And now, knowing what I know about Marilyn Manson, well, his childhood really messed him up. He was not dealt with effectively at all. So he's got an empty first house. All that means is there aren't any planets or placements in there. And when you have an empty house, it's really not anything to be concerned about. It's just not an area of life you need to be that focused on. It's where the planets and the placements are. That shows you the life lessons, the obstacles you're supposed to overcome. Those are the areas you're supposed to do the work. I mean, that's where the work is. Now, second house. Quite significant for Marilyn Manson. So he has Pluto with Virgo in his second house. His south node is here with Libra. He has Uranus with Libra. He has Jupiter with Libra. So I'm going to dissect this for just a moment. He has Pluto with Virgo. The people with this placement are driven by ethical standards of what's right and what's wrong. It's a subconscious drive to straighten out the world's evils and create perfect world order, okay? That's exactly his mindset. You've also got Pluto, close to Uranus. And this is indicative of a person who can be explosive and even violent in their reactions to situations, especially when they are restricted. Marilyn Manson was sent to a Christian school, and he was bullied and abused in that school. And he was highly restricted emotionally and physically. Uranus in the second house, independent, free thinkers. They are not going to tolerate being restricted. They hate being told what to do. These folks strive in an unstructured environment that allows discretionary decision making. Following a routine is actually damaging for these personality types. And he was in that school. I looked it up. From the 1st grade to the 10th grade, he ultimately got expelled. But he did not fit in. And that really fueled his artistic rebellion. I'm telling you, if you have a kid who has Uranus in this first or second house, just let them be free. Don't restrict these people. It will backfire. And of course, he's got Jupiter in his second house. That didn't surprise me at all. I mean, that's a major indicator of wealth. It shows you that somebody is positioned for success and opportunities, and they're going to make a whole lot of money. Now, I'm not covering everything in this video. I'm just hitting the highlights to explain somebody who has been difficult to explain, okay? So, third house, this is, immediate environment, house of communication, and he has Mars with Scorpio, okay? Extremely strong-willed. Dude is unswayable. He's unswayable. You're not going to, if he's strong-willed about something, you're not going to sway him another direction. That's just all there is to it. And his parents really did do all the wrong things with him. And this placement shows he's one-sided and he's obsessed with it. Be careful with people who have this placement, because they don't seek out confrontation, but they are formidable foes. If you mess with them, they're very courageous, which is an admirable quality, but they have a raw side and they are unapologetic about it. If you provoke them to wrath, oh my God. Fourth house, he's got Neptune with Scorpio again. He's absolutely psychic, no doubt about that. And people with this placement, they are just naturally attracted to the strange, the weird, and the unusual. And their bizarre traits are often reflected in music, art, and fashion. I mean, that's exactly what Marilyn Manson has done. And with this placement being in the fourth house, it shows that his childhood was definitely confusing. And people like him often spend their lives or spend a lot of time searching for the ideal loving home that they didn't have during childhood. Over here in the fifth house, this is so spot on, because the fifth house is the house of joy and doing what we love to do. And Sagittarius is on the cusp of this fifth house. And of course, Jupiter rules Sagittarius, so he's got more Jupiter energy here, and there's just work all over it. Here's his vertex, and this is his natural law of attraction point. And the vertex works like, well, there's a chain of events that have to happen before this thing falls out of the sky and furthers your path in some way. Hey, his vertex is with Capricorn. Capricorns, I mean, this is work, this is success, and it's in the fifth house of joy. And so, Marilyn Manson naturally attracts work that he loves doing. And a chain of events had to happen before he could get to his career. And that was in the, growing up and everything that happened with him being restricted in that Christian school. And then he's got the sun right next to his vertex. I mean, it's conjunct even, which means the energy's magnified. His sun is in Capricorn. Well, hey, that's success. I mean, again, success doing what he enjoys doing. Music, art, creativity, all those things are fifth house affairs. And then look at the sixth house. He's got his part of fortune with Capricorn. Part of fortune shows you where your prosperity and fortune and luck are going to come through in your life. But it's self-activated. You got to do what you're supposed to do in order to unlock your fortune, okay? It's with Capricorn in work, and it's in the sixth house of the physical work that you do. It's so spot on. And right next door, you got Mercury with Aquarius. So he's unlocking his fortune through work, and his work involves all communications that are, guess what? Unconventional, because Uranus rules Aquarius, and Uranus is unconventional, okay? And then the seventh house, he's got Venus with Pisces. Believe it or not, dude is tremendously soft-hearted. He's romantic too, but his love for the opposite sex, he openly expresses that. Like, he really loves women. But he can express his love often in a crude or unsensitive way, and he has been in legal trouble for that behavior. And then up here in the eighth house of shared resources, he's got Chiron 29 degrees with Pisces, and 29 degrees is the anaretic degree. critical degree. And that wound is around spiritual beliefs, and many disappointing events shaped his belief or disbelief in the goodness of humanity. And also connected with this wound is, sometimes promises unkept by parents. That can be connected to that wound too. And all of that is just really spot on. And then Chiron is, it's right next to his north node in the 8th house of mutual money, shared resources. 8th house is also crisis, chaos, and endings. 8th house is buried. It's like, often deep transformative stuff. And he's got his south node here with Libra in the 2nd, and it's retrograde. Most nodes are retrograde. But south node shows us what we're supposed to move away from in this lifetime. North node shows us what we are supposed to move towards in this lifetime. And I'm telling you right now, Marilyn Manson has, he is not failing his chart. He's doing what he's supposed to do. This is easy to read. He is supposed to move away from people pleasing and maybe telling people what they want to hear, to fierce independence. It's with Aries. Like, Aries people they're not people pleasers. They're hot-tempered and they're fiery and they take action. Clearly Marilyn Manson evolved from his south node comfort zone to his north node growth. 9th house, big picture stuff, higher learning. It's also spiritual, philosophical beliefs. He has Saturn here with Aries, and that's a tough placement. It is a tough placement because it brings difficulty with asserting your will directly and openly. And developing self-confidence and courage was absolutely imperative for Marilyn Manson. It's also indicative of very rigid beliefs, and I think that applies to his beliefs. To him, based on what I know, no part of Christianity is good, and he's unswayable with that. He's absolutely unswayable, and that speaks to, other things I've mentioned here. I also wanted to point this out because a lot of people get freaked out over empty houses, especially when their 10th house of career here is empty. 10th and 11th are empty. This goes to show you that empty houses they're not a make or break at all. And his house of career is empty. Clearly, he has been wildly successful, no doubt about that. And then in his, 12th house of everything that's hidden behind the scenes, 12th house is the psychic house. It rules the subconscious. He has his moon here with Leo. Okay, moon is childhood. It's your default behavior. It's your reaction to things, emotion. Remember what I said about Leo kids. If a Leo child doesn't get the attention they need, you better look the fuck out. So with his moon being in Leo, that lets me know that he did not get the attention he needed, and it caused him to act out in a very public way. He is like the person who was restricted and bullied that took it to a whole other freaking level. And I'll say it again, his parents did not deal with him effectively. So I really enjoyed looking into his chart, and I'm always searching for opportunities to keep an open mind, and I'm glad that I am a very open-minded person because I loved his show and I was treated very well by his fans. And even though I stuck out like a sore thumb, they didn't look like me. I didn't look like them. They were very, very nice. There were a lot of doors being held open, a lot of smiles, and a lot of please and thank yous. And it was a learning experience, and I'm glad that I went.